Good evening, everybody, and welcome to day number 242. Day 242, 9:01 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6:01 out in California, 4:01 a.m. in Ukraine. I want to thank you all for being here last night. I was running to and fro yesterday. Zhenya did a phenomenal job on the update last night. So much appreciation to him. He's been rolling today. Going to roll him in now. He's just getting back into Khmelnytskyi. He made a run up north to help some of our soldiers. We're going to hear about that in a moment. Got 3 or 4 main things that we're discussing as we look ahead to the week that is coming. And you'll be fully updated as we close out day 242 on this Sunday night, October the 23rd. So thank you guys for being here. It is much appreciated. Thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to all the family. Goods are still coming in every day. And we're going to have a really big shipment heading out to Ukraine very soon. With that said, thank you. And let me find the man here and get you unmuted there. Hey, buddy, good morning to you.
Good evening.
Listen, I know you are wore out, so I won't hold you too long, but been a tough couple of days, especially in our home city there of Khmelnytskyi. Why don't you give the folks tonight, as we go in, just an update on how is Khmelnytskyi, how are things in our region of Ukraine there?
So today was, you could find some places with a feature you wouldn't expect to see in Khmelnytskyi. There were some places, people were looking, waiting in the lines to get the drinkable water, and it's for free. And there were places where people could get some warm and get some food, because some places were not recovered for electricity. Not much, but I think for this moment it's okay, and it's 100% it's restored, so everything is okay. And yeah,
today, so that's good news. And I guess we'll go ahead and tell everybody. We had discussed, even when I was there toward the end of the trip, and of course we don't wish anything bad on anybody. We're going to win this war. But there are times where, like even Western Ukraine kind of got used to the war. They were not seeing everything in the East. And do you think this is a wake-up call to not only Khmelnytskyi, but Western and Central Ukraine?
I think it brings a more clear picture to the whole Ukraine, what's going on the east and the south. And that's it. I don't know, is it like a wake-up call? But it's reality which is spreading.
Yes. Today you made a run up to Rivne.
Yeah, a little bit farther, but yes.
Okay, we'll show folks where that's at. So as you can see here in our orange, we're based. Which way did you go through, Shepetovka or Ternopil?
Shepetovka.
Okay, so he went up this way, and then this way, and then somewhere even closer up to the border. What was the purpose of the run up into that region today?
We had to transport the help with transportation to military, and we had to transport the energy bars for the guys. We got really good feedbacks, because we produce, our team of volunteers producing it, and we delivered to the canned stuff, the meat. Let's say a lot of this moment for them, it's more than enough, and it's as well the team of volunteers are producing it. So
now,
all of help.
If you guys remember when I was there, and the first 7 or 10 days we were running with Sasha, and he's working in this region now, right? Up in this area. So we need to remember him. You guys know his face personally. So that's the area he's in. So to give folks an idea, Zhenya, you left Khmelnytskyi How long is the drive up to where you went? How long did it take you? Just so people have an understanding of distance.
About 3 hours probably.
Okay. So
Maybe 3.5.
3.5 to get up in here and 3.5 to get back, plus the work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not bad. Not bad, but it shows people the size of Ukraine. Now I have a question for you. We hear things all about Russian forces leaving Kherson. Ukraine's going to attack Kherson. People are seeing the videos where some people in Kherson are evacuating, about 25,000. The truth is, most people are not. They're waiting for Ukraine to liberate Kherson because they're Ukrainians. But there are people evacuating. There's rumors going on that Ukraine's going to come in. There's rumors going on that Russia's going to shell it and blame Ukraine. Do you have any idea or insight what's going on in Kherson tonight?
The one thing I know for sure that the battles in that area are extremely hard, tough. And I think we will understand it and have this picture later. I mean, with the documentary, with the time. For the situation, yeah.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
This is where Kherson is, in case you're wondering. Mykolaiv here, Odessa here. And when Jania and I were down there, we were in this region right here, in between. Yeah, and so, just remember,
okay, the one thing, if it's occupied territory, and on occupied territory, people are not just limited, almost blocked with getting the real information, to see a real picture of what's going on. And all the Ukrainian channels and international channels blocked, and the internet are filtered. And so the people have no choice what to hear and what to see. So I think for some of them it's maybe Telegram channels, like other the chats, special group, the info chats, which is again, it's not easy because people there are forced to install a special chat bot on every phone, like which by request of local occupants, and these bots are basically controlling a lot of and sending information just to make sure that people are not contacting with Ukrainians and so on. This is especially if it's based on Android system. With iPhones, it's not as like this, but as well there is some tools they're using. It's like pulling people, stopping people. Okay, give me a phone. They're checking everything. If it's Android, they're restoring all the messages which was deleted, all the media, trying to check all the people. So people there they're getting information that the Ukrainians are doing that with the time every day of lying. To telling the wrong things about Ukrainians. People are having like twisted pictures, absolutely, and as well it's when they preparing this, later they say, okay, Ukrainians are doing that and that, preparing the dirty bomb and so on. So people, they're confused completely.
The bottom line is, you're telling us tonight that people in Kherson, they will stop them, take their phone, check it, put software on it, and give it back to them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, just for you to understand, if person wanted to leave the occupied territory, trying to get to Ukrainian territory, they had to fill information in special list online somehow, sending it, where they had to let know the information, like all the relatives, their addresses in Ukraine, all the contacts, their phone numbers, and like email of the phone of the one who the filling these forms, and so on, so many things. And 5 days ago, I was talking with one person, and they are like this family are from Mariupol, but by some reason, their daughter, of which is 8 years age, she got to Russia, and just to get the daughter on the Russian border, she had to give the phone as well, like for installing that. Installing that bot and the software, and the husband called me, hey Zhenya, she doesn't know how to delete it because she can't. Plus to that, they restored all the information she was deleting before by he said, I don't know how. And so it's like, it's this is the way they work.
Well,
Full
Kaleba, speaking about propaganda, came out today, Kaleba, I think, and said that RT, or the Russian Times, needs to be blocked in every country in the world because of the evil that they are spreading, the propaganda. I'll let you say something, or I'll ask you to say something about that. But folks, it's so bad what the Russian Times is sharing about Ukraine, about Ukrainian citizens, young and old. And I'm being very sensitive with my words here because I know what blocks videos. If we were to share that Russian Times video, we would be taken offline immediately. Immediately. It's just terrible what's coming out in the propaganda. Yeah.
but there is an option for every person. It's the person's right to find it, what RT are broadcasting on about the Ukrainian kids, and it's nothing that Ukrainians or other countries does. It's what RT, which is Russian channel,
Mm-hmm.
broadcasting so openly. It's their TV, their media channel. Go and check it and make sure you've seen it, and then nobody will tell you. I mean, the opposite picture, because you will see it with your eyes. What
Well,
Russian
I
and
can
their
do
attitude.
this. So there's the logo. You can go
Mhm.
look it up yourself, and you'll say, "Well, I can't read that," but you can come up here and click that, and you can. Now, I will tell you that the information in English is not always the same that's in the Russian language, but you can piddle around, look around. This is what Kaleba was saying needs to be blocked worldwide, and we completely agree with him. Couple of things also as we start the week. We're going to have a busy week this week. It's probably going to be very active, but before we get going tomorrow and on through the week, couple of international things we need to look at, and that is China. And this completely affects Ukraine. Xi went back into office. Not only that, he strengthened his position, more loyalists around him. That directly affects the war in Ukraine because Xi is really doing nothing to stop Putin or to be a superpower type leader and bring peace and stability to the world. Economics, Russia and China are still involved economically. And you have Taiwan. You see what Russia's doing in Ukraine, China and Taiwan. Additionally, right now, over the last few hours, North Korea and South Korea have been trading shots, shooting over the bow. And tonight, before we jump in that, and I'll see if you have any thoughts on that, Zhenya, I want people just to understand. Maybe you don't know. I'm a map nerd, so I love maps. But this is one thing I was looking around here earlier that maybe people just do not understand when we talk about these nations and why they affect Ukraine. This is North Korea in the black. Okay. This is South Korea in the orange. Of course, you guys know, maybe, this is Japan. Okay. Now, these are the islands that Russia claims, but they're Japanese. Next, we'll just go ahead and put the Russian border right here. You say, what? Russia's way over there? Yeah, that's a major city right there. That's Vladivostok. If I was to zoom in for you, you'll see it. Vladivostok. It's major. And then, this is why all this is connected, folks. Here is China. There's Beijing. And China, Russia, all bump up together. And finally, we'll go down here, and here's Taiwan. So we're talking about something that affects the entire world in all these nations, but it's so close. And people wonder, well, why Russia and China and North Korea? Look how close they are. It's nowhere. And then this has basically reinforced the Xi regime and made it stronger. So it's not a pretty picture for having a superpower at least reinforce Putin. Everything I've seen over the last 24 hours since this happened is this was a positive thing for Vladimir Putin.
I mean, will not comment that. I think it's for sure it has influence on the war, Russian and Ukraine. Plus, it surely will influence on the, like, let's say it's like a vector.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a vector for other countries. What's going on there? It's a vector.
It is. Last thing we want to show tonight. President Zelenskyy came out a little while ago talking about dirty bombs, talking about Shoigu, talking about terrorist tactics. Over the last few days, people have asked, okay, is the Kakhovka bridge, and we'll go to the map here, what color am I in? Make sure I'm in a different color here. Okay, orange. Right here. Is this bridge mined? And the answer is yes. It is also has explosives sitting on it. The Antonovsky Bridge is down here. So we've had that question. People have asked, is it really bad around the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant? Yes, it is. And then today with Shoigu, the defense minister, he called France. He called Turkey. He spoke again with the United States. And his conversations were accusing Ukraine of getting ready to use a dirty bomb. This is a tactic of Russian aggression in Ukraine right now. It's the false flag event. And I'm going to play in just a second Zelenskyy's response to the world. We've got it translated into English, going to show it. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's really possible? We know Ukraine's not going to do that, but is it possible we see something crazy from Russia?
For sure, like the historical, we can see it, and at this moment during this war, just think about that a lot of times, when Ukrainians army are getting back the territory, they're occupying it, and they are then investigating, and they founding regularly a lot of dead bodies. All the time when it was posted or published, the propaganda was telling, you see, this is what Ukrainians does. They're killing people. And they're using Ukrainian media, which is opening it. So until Ukrainians are coming, nothing. Then They pointing, okay, in the beginning of the war they were doing it like, oh, Ukraine were preparing the attack on Russia and Belarus. This is why we did it. Like, surely it's possible that all different scenarios they think about or plan, they posting blaming Ukraine before, then for Russia, for their people, it will be, you see, we were telling you, and then for international society, it's the same. So you see, like, yes, this is the way they fight. They're using
Well,
this kind of weapon. They attacking this kind of, like, the targets, the civilians and kids. They kidnapping people. They were promising not to touch people from like Azov, and
mhm,
what they destroyed the prison and killed a lot of them inside,
mhm.
and they doing it all the time.
Well, we already see everywhere they used munitions that are not supposed to be used, such as phosphorus munitions on civilian populations. We already see it. We know they are continually messing with the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. We know the dam and bridge in Novokhovka is mined. President Zelenskyy is going to tell the world in just a second when we share it. And we know the evacuations. The other thing is we see, and I was talking to some guys today, whether or not they use some type of false flag event and then do something crazy at Zaporozhye nuclear power plant or the blow the dam, regardless, I think for sure one of their tactics is going to be to freeze and cause hunger and destroy infrastructure as we go into winter. For sure, that's one of their goals, and that is terrorism.
Yeah, sure. The This is, I mean, you need, I mean, it's easy to understand what to expect if you just look at the back in the history of even this war. It's easy to understand. The Russia didn't try, let's say, to open and recall for the world to check historically, like, the rights for
Mm-hmm.
for Ukrainian territory. Never. They were telling everything is okay. We agree. This is, we have international agreement of, it's a sovereign country. Ukraine a sovereign country. They occupying it. They occupying more territory. And then what they telling the world? Hey, you need to stop this this war. Otherwise, otherwise, we will we cannot guarantee what can happen with a nuclear power station we occupied, because Ukrainians are crazy. This is the logic they use. Or, hey, don't touch our borders because otherwise we will use nuclear weapon.
It's
Hey, world, we're not playing. This is the
it,
way the game they do. Just, I
it's
mean, check it.
it's it's kind of like this, and this is a thing that controls lights in here. Um, let's say this is the button for them firing S-300s and Iskanders and drones. This is what they do: fire, 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 fire. World, you need to stop this war. Fire, 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 fire. World, look what's going on. You need to stop this war. While they're dragging right now Iran into the war and Belarus into the war. They're dragging them with them right into this war. It's
And
crazy.
just the fact, the war is on Ukrainian territory. Russian tanks and soldiers and missiles on Ukrainian territory. And Putin calls the world to stop the war. You need to stop Ukrainians. You need to stop this war. What war? The Ukrainians are trying, I mean, they're fighting for on their territory because who? Like, China came to them? NATO? No. Russian? Yes. But for Russian, it's surely like Yeah, Russia has a right to, to use their tanks and the submarines in any place because Russia has no limits. Yes, and the world needs to think about to stop how to stop Ukrainians. To stop to what?
And last night on the update, you were updated, giving information that Russia was increasing. Speaking about those subs, their presence in the Black Sea. Okay, so this is where we're at tonight as we're getting this week started. We're on Sunday night, 9:30 at night or something, 9 something, 9, yeah, 9:28, 29. Why don't we listen to what Zelenskyy said, and then we'll give a remark off that, and we'll wish everybody a good start to their week here. Let's hear everything we've just been talking about. This is what President Zelenskyy said just a couple of hours ago.
Тому, коли сьогодні російський міністр оборони влаштовує телефонну карусель і обдзвонює іноземних міністрів з розповідями про так звану брудну ядерну бомбу, всі все добре розуміють. Розуміють, хто джерело усього брудного, що тільки можна уявити у цій війні. Це Росія влаштувала шантаж радіаційною катастрофою на Запорізькій АЕС. Це траєкторія російських ракет пролягає, зокрема, над українськими атомними об'єктами. Це російські військові замінували дамбу і агрегати Каховської ГЕС і шантажують їх підривом. Це Росія використовує фосфорні боєприпаси, заборонені протипіхотні міни та увесь спектр озброєнь проти цивільної інфраструктури. Україна – це завжди про відновлення, завжди про життя. І якщо хтось і може застосувати ядерну зброю в нашій частині Європи, то це лише один суб'єкт. І цей суб'єкт якраз і наказав товаришу Шойгу кудись там телефонувати. Якщо Росія телефонує і розказує, що нібито Україна щось готує, то це означає одне – Росія вже все це і підготувала. Вважаю, що зараз світ повинен максимально жорстко відреагувати. Якщо Росія підготувала чергове підняття ставок і черговий ескалаційний крок, вона вже зараз превентивно і до будь-якого нового свого бруду має побачити, що світ це не проковтне. Навіть вже сама російська погроза ядерною зброєю, і тим більше проти нашої держави, яка віддала свій ядерний арсенал під обіцянки безпеки з боку найбільших ядерних держав, це підстава і для санкцій, і для ще більшого посилення підтримки України.
So there you have it, bud. Everything we've been talking about tonight, trying to bring this week to a close and start the next week on day 242, is exactly what Zelenskyy just replied to. Had you seen that video yet?
No.
Okay, because I'm watching. Okay, so the video's playing, but I'm actually watching you on another screen, and I could see. I didn't think you had seen that one yet. It just came out, but he being Zelenskyy said the same thing you just said. If you look at Shoigu and you look at what Russia is saying Ukraine's going to do, look at the source. Who told Shoigu to call? Well, of course, Vladimir Putin. But for those of you wondering, around the world, that was from Zelenskyy. Dirty bombs? Check. Zaporozhye nuclear power plant? Check. Missiles flying all over the place? Check. Kakhovka Dam mined? Out of the mouth of Zelenskyy? Check. Nuclear blackmail? Check. Phosphorus munitions, and Zelenskyy was clear on civilians? Check. Ukraine is about life and recovery, and if you look at all these threats, understand the source. It's exactly what you said.
Okay, for people who, one more thought about Russia-Ukrainian relationship and the direction they were trying to, to pull the international society, and in situation between Ukraine and Russia, which side were trying to say that your language are not real.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Ukrainian language. It was a Russian media official statements. They're the state channels. There is no Ukrainian channels. Then they said, who was blaming that your territory you got your territory not legal way? Ukraine and Russia. Russia was pointing and say Ukraine has no rights, not just for Crimea, for nothing. Who was trying to wipe out the history of the nation? Ukraine or Russia? Oh, Russia. How to check? Ukrainian propaganda? No. Russian channels were blaming there is no Ukraine. And they, who was telling making the statements like that who is Ukrainians? It's demonized Russian people.
Mm-hmm.
It's one more statement, and it's all about that. And one more statement that Ukraine has no right for sovereignty. It was one more statement from Russia side. Why? Who was doing like that? The things: the aggressor, occupant, and terrorist. This. I mean, like, what a question. Then all the tools. This is why they using and destroying our energy infrastructures. Why? Because they fight with Ukrainian army in Rivne,
Mm-hmm.
in Lviv. No, they
Correct.
want to terrorize. They want for civilian people, the loving parents of their kids started to experiencing the fear. Hey, what to do? We
Mm-hmm.
need to survive. They want for increase the level of refugees in Europe. They want to put Europe in economic crisis. They want to sow that the fear that the situation, like, for people would see that we can control nothing. But I can tell you today on the service, and after the service we had a coffee time.
Mm-hmm.
No one was thinking about to leave.
Good.
Everybody was making jokes and saying, "Okay, oh, yesterday after the Russian attack, I got a lesson, so we'll think about that and that and that and that." This is the feedback.
Well, we carry on because Ukraine's not going to give up. That was even what Ederstovich said. We'll endure cold. We're going to win this war. So that's a great lesson you gave there. All we have to do is look at the source. Maybe go back to what you said, and we'll close out with this. If people who do not know the Russian language or Ukrainian language are listening to it, they don't understand anyway. But let's be clear about this. I can speak to Zhenya in Russia, but if he starts flying at me in Ukrainian, I understand zero. Well, not zero, but basically zero. For example, I'll ask you some questions in Russian, and you answer me in Ukrainian, okay? And let people hear.
Let's try.
Let people hear. I'll ask you three questions. Как твой день, как дороги и как в общении с Сережей?
Взагалі чудове спілкування. Цікавий співрозмовник і цікава розмова взагалі. День.
Listen, I don't know what you're saying. My point being, did you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you questions in Russian. You replied in Ukrainian. And folks, to you, it probably sounded the same. To me, I didn't understand him. For sure, Ukraine has a language. Period.
I think maybe the other day we can share a couple things about that. But the world had agreement right after the World War II. We fixed the borders.
Mm-hmm.
we will not negotiate it. It's fixed.
Correct.
And what now?
The borders are fixed. We will not negotiate.
Who decided to change this order? Who decided that which country or moved in effect the border of Georgia? Which country moved? Influenced on a changing situation between the borders between Armenia and Azerbaijan?
Azerbaijan. Mm-hmm.
And who annexed Crimea when the president of its country was telling there is no Russian soldiers on Crimea, and later he says yes, it was special operation, and so on, and he will not stop. This idea will not stop if the world will not stop it.
Correct. But that's why we're here, and that's why we fight, because those who are here, those that support this community, support this channel, support everything we do, the nonprofits, the supplying, the giving, everything we do, you guys understand. Most of the world right now still does not understand. They get up, they eat their cornflakes, they go to work, and they come home and they think everything's going to be okay. Listen to me tonight. Everything is not going to be okay if we do not get this straightened out, because the world is going the wrong direction right now with what's happening in Russia, the invasion and the war in Ukraine, Xi in China, Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and I'm just in that region of the world. We have to do our part, and this is not, like we've said many times, this is going to be people of the world coming together and standing for what's right, and that's what we're going to do and continue to do. Yeah.
One more thing.
Please.
During 10 years, which country of the world were regularly telling people, trying to claim it, that the victory in the World War II, it was this country only? Was it United States who was regularly during 10 years telling on the central media, if somebody is not agree, we can repeat? It was year by year. Which country, which nation it was? Which nation on a parade for the victory could post on Berlin regularly, the war is over? And who was threatening the world that we are laughing over your sanction because we have Iskanders? Which country was telling that we can send a missile and in just some minutes create from United States just a dust?
Exactly. Dust.
Okay. Who could say, who was telling to Great Britain, we have missile, we have cruise missile and nuclear weapon, we can just wipe out by the wave we will create the Great Britain just using 1 hour rocket? Who was that? Ukraine?
No.
Oh, okay. China? No.
No.
It was Russia, and it's fact check it. Years, and now the world was calm, ignoring, and now nobody was. They were. Oh, let's respect this. Let's respect. Okay, this is respect. You getting back now.
Yeah, look where we're at now with that respect.
With the nuclear war.
Exactly.
It's the next stage.
It is the next stage, and we're that close to World War III. Well, it's going to be Interesting week. We'll be here every day. I know you're exhausted, man. You put some miles down today.
Today is important day.
Very important day.
24.
Yeah. It's already 24 there for hours. It'll be 24 here soon. Well, we'll be here. We'll be here tomorrow night in 23 hours and give you the next update. Thank you guys for everything you do. Jacob, thanks for everything, man. Thank you for the run up to our soldiers today in the north.
Yeah, I mean,
we stand together.
We're standing together. These guys are, I mean, they're doing their part. We're doing our part.
And together, we win. 100%. All right, buddy. Get some rest. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Could be crazy the next 23 hours. Trust us. All right, buddy. You have a good night and a few hours sleep. I'll talk to you in a few hours. Good night to all.
To all, a good night.
Bye-bye.